Hello and welcome. My name is Tim, and for 3 weeks I work on a tugboat like this, and then I have 3 weeks off and I hang out on a boat like this. Actually, this boat. I bought this boat a few years ago, and since then have been sailing it up and down the east coast of the U.S. and into the Caribbean. We've been fortunate enough to put about 6,000 miles under the keel in the last few years. And these are some of the things that I've learned in that time. Stick around, I hope you like it. Hello and welcome. I'm Tim, and this is a special edition of SVP Paquita. Only special in the sense that I'm really where I normally film my other channel, Tim Be at Sea, on the tugboat that I work in Puerto Rico. So why am I doing this? I've been away from Paquita, well, I think 7 weeks now. It's going to be 9 weeks before, total that I've been gone before I get back. And because of that, I've had kind of a lull in how much content I can give you. And one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make better videos, and in doing that I end up throwing a lot of fluff away. So I might have a lot of content, but it's not very interesting, and I'm trying to do better. Anyway, those of you that don't follow Tim Be at Sea, and that's fine. Tim Be at Sea is more than 10 times as big as SVP Paquita is as far as the channel goes, and it's a different audience. Some of you guys those that have crossed over, I thank you very much. But it's a education and demonstration channel for boat handling and how things work in the professional maritime world. Anyway, those that have been following that know that I recently spent 2 weeks working back in New York City again. And I say New York City, we're really talking about the harbor. When I say New York Harbor, that's what we mariners refer to, basically what is most of the time New Jersey. Anyway, Newark and the Kills and that sort of stuff. But anyway, you don't have to look at me the whole time. They put you on this beautiful scenery of a nice calm morning here in Guayanilla, Puerto Rico. We are we're going to the other side of the island for a 6 o'clock rendezvous with our pilots tomorrow morning. So that means that we'll leave here in a few hours and get underway. But anyway, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was not my other channel, but what I wanted to say was that because I work for 3 weeks on the tugboat, and then I have 3 weeks that I usually spend with Crisalita on Paquita, and then I have 3 weeks back on the tugboat again. I didn't do that. I had some family business we had to take care of. We were moving my dad out of his house, and he was going to a place that his needs would be met a little better. And so I spent the first week of my 3 weeks off in Maine cleaning out his house with my brother and sister, and then I spent 2 weeks in New York and filmed a ton of content there. Now I'm back on my 3 weeks on my own tug. I say my own tug, the tug that I'm assigned to, and then I'll be going back to Paquita in just a little over a week and almost a week and a half. I'll be flying over there, and Crisalita will be flying down, and I'll be able to see her, and that'll be wonderful. Anyway, in the meantime, I have some homework for you. Now, obviously, it's the beginning of the season for many people, and many people have even gotten their boats in and ready for a few months now, depending on how far north you go. Crisalita and I will be taking Paquita from Fort Lauderdale all the way up the coast to Monhegan Island, Maine, to the island that I grew up on. I have to go to a reunion there, and then we'll be bringing it back down to Long Island Sound, and that's where Paquita will spend be for the summer while I'm back at work. Anyway, my homework for you guys, and it's not really homework. I just found this out when I was sailing in the Keys with Runa a couple hitches ago. I asked Runa if he had ever seen the documentary called Chasing Bubbles. and I was really surprised he hadn't seen it, and I wasn't really sure if he would like it or not. It's not your typical movie that everyone latches onto. I've always really loved it. I thought it was incredible, and it really spoke to me, and I think it was a good example of some of the things that drive me to wanting to sail around the world, and some of the fears that we have. And it's not so much fear of the ocean, but what do you do afterwards and that sort of stuff. And anyway, after showing it to Runa was like, Tim, how have you not shown this to me before? This is the most amazing thing. If you guys have seen Chasing Bubbles, then I can't imagine anyone seeing it and not liking it, especially people that are into sailing and adventure. It's free. It's on YouTube. I will put a link in the description. I don't get anything, and I believe, I don't know this for fact, but I suspect because of the copyrighted music that's in there, it's unmonetized. I can't verify that because when I got my new phone, I know this sounds weird, but when I activated my new phone, it gave me a year's worth of YouTube Premium. So I don't know if things are if there's a lot of ads or not. But anyway, that's that. Anyway, this is a story. I don't want to give too much away, but I think that whether you're a professional mariner or whether you're a commodity stock trader that grew up in the Midwest somewhere, many of us are born with a desire to get out and see the world and push our boundaries and really go to places that people haven't been to, not for the resorts, but for making connections with people from different cultures, listening to different music, eating different foods, participating in different cultural events. And that's basically the story of this. Like I say, I don't want to give too much away. I think no one told me about this. It just kept showing up on my feed. It's like 20 years ago. I'm kidding. The movie's not that old, but it's old. But anyway, for a long time ago, it kept showing up. So finally one day I clicked on it and I was blown away. So anyway, here we are. A week and a half from now, Chris Leon and I will be sailing up, hopefully, if everything goes well. And once again, we're bringing the most dangerous thing on the boat that we could bring, and that's a schedule. I've got 10 days to move the boat from Fort Lauderdale, 1,300 miles, all the way up to Maine. I plan on being offshore for almost all of it, with the exception of I'm going to run into Norfolk to pick up Runa, and then Runa will help me. So it'll just be me and Crystalia up to Norfolk, and then from Norfolk all the way up to Monhegan. We hope to get there in time for the reunion, but if we miss it, we'll still get up there. Monhegan's great to see. Anyway, I'm sure that there'll be a lot. I'm going to try to do a lot. If we have a chance, we'll do some live feeds and all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. If you want to buy me a beer, hit the hard thank you button. Check out in the description, there's a link to go to Patreon if you want to become a patron. And all you patrons out there, thank you guys so much. You guys are the backbone of both channels. And yeah, and then I usually push my friend John's website, just because he's a good guy. If you're a professional mariner, or if you want to be one, or even if you're not a professional, but if you're a yachtsman that is getting his credentials, my friend who's the captain opposite me here in Puerto Rico, he has started a company called marinercredentials.com, and sometimes the task of, especially your first time getting your MMC, your drug testing paperwork, your physicals and all that, getting all that stuff correct and then into the right places, sometimes can be daunting. And he's somebody that not only walks you through all that, and if you're someone like me who every 5 years, I've got all these things that time out every 5 years, so you have to keep doing these renewals and stuff like that. So a renewal will come up, and I'll call up John, say, John, what do I need? He emails me the forms, I fill them out, I email them back to him, he checks them out, and it's a great service. It's for the amount of stress that it takes, it's just a few shekels. So anyway, that's that. Enough plugging his. Like I say, I think he's got a lot of traffic from my other site. I don't imagine that there's a lot of you in the yachting world that are going to want to do that, but if any of you in the yachting world have questions about and just so you know, he just deals with the U.S. Coast Guard. So if you're from another country, I don't know that he can really help you with your laws, but that's the way that goes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all your support, and I love your comments. You guys take care, be safe. I'll see you on the one, and I promise I got sailing content coming up.